Recording in progress. Right, you probably will get a notification that asks you if you're happy to stay put. So I just want to first of all take a minute to say Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Surely anything has got to be better than December's, because December we were all chilling, and anything's got to be better than 2021 because it was a funny old year. I don't know about you guys. It was a great year for us in business, but it was also a funny old year. So, and that's what I like to call it. I'm literally calling 2021 that funny old year. It's been and gone. It's forgotten. It's in the past now. All I can say is we learned a lot, and we are moving forward with new goals to start and to get ready to literally transform your business. If you're here right now, that is telling me two things about you. Number one, it's telling me that you are serious about leveling up your business in 2022. If that is you, put a 10 in the chat box for me, because I'm pretty certain that everybody that's here right now is like, yep, that is me. I want to level up my business. I literally want to promote. I want to sell more Scentsy. I want to recruit more teamies. I want to build my business, and I want to be sitting where you are on that Zoom in a year's time saying, oh, look, I'm welcoming all my team to 2023. I'm pretty certain that some of you are now going, oh my God, I don't want to do that. Yes, you do. Of course you do. So the best way to start any year off is to do a little bit of self-evaluation, but more importantly is to plan what we're going to be doing going forward. And I'm going to give you some of my tips, some of the things that I do. Now, I am pretty good at goal setting. I'm pretty good at setting myself a goal. When I say I'm going to do something, generally speaking, I go out of my way to find a way to get it done, basically. Oh, if you're coming on, guys, just make sure you're on mute. So if if I set myself a goal, I'm like, right, I am going to get, so my goal for this month, for example, is to hit level 3 of the incentive. It means that I've got to have my biggest month in Scentsy that I've had in the last year. But, you know, I'm going to do it. I've got to find a way around it. I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to break it down into small chunks, and I'm going to get there. So that's what this is all about. Tonight is all about really giving you some tips for making a plan for your business, and you knowing where to start and where to go, but also not just for your business, for your personal as well, because I think really for me the two overlap so much. And tell me if I'm wrong, for you guys, like, this business actually allows me to do lots of things in my personal life that I want to be able to go and do. So if I set goals in my personal life, then they need to coincide with my Scentsy business, or if the two don't marry up together, it becomes a bit of a pointless exercise, because it's no good just hitting all your goals, for example, within your Scentsy business, and actually it's had a really catastrophic impact on your home life and your personal life. I've been there, where I've had nights where I've given up all the Netflix, all the TV programs, been up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning in this office, putting orders together, you know, making packs, doing this, making samples. I've done those things, and I'm not going to lie, it isn't particularly healthy. Although sometimes we have got to give up things, and I'm going to talk about that tonight. It's not healthy for it to become like the be all and end all. So it's really important to make sure that you know exactly why you're doing what we're doing. And that's probably where I want to start tonight. Now, the lovely Laura Sawkins sent me a link, and I don't know whether I'm going to be able to play it. Let me just see if I can. She said it's only 3 minutes long. Can you still see me? Hopefully you can still see me. She sent me a link. Let me just find it. Where did it go? You can still see me, yes? Make sure you can still see me. Right, hold on 2 seconds. Let me just find this link. She said, oh, I've sent you a link, and you might want to share it, but where did she put it? I'm just checking our messages, because we do send each other quite a lot of messages. Let me just look, 2 secs. And it was all about, this is me being not quite as organised as I thought I was. Nope. Hold on, where she sent it? Text? Maybe she sent it by text. No. Messenger. And now I'm going to message her and just say, where is that link? She's going to be like, what link? We'll come back to that. So I was going to start you off with a video to watch, but yeah, we'll come back to that. So What I did last week is I asked you, and you might have seen this in the Sense Squad, you might not have seen it. And if you haven't done it, this is something, it's a little bit of homework that I'm going to set you. I asked you to make a list of, this is my list of personal goals and business goals for 2022. So I literally wrote, and I'm going to read you some of them because I don't mind sharing my list with you guys. It's pretty, some of the stuff's pretty personal, and some of it you might go, why have you written that on like your goals? But it's because it probably took a hit in 2021. So things that I've put on here, for example, is a monthly date night, to get my new windows done on the house, to have a once a month family date night. We stayed in New Year's Eve and we just played Rapido and some other crazy game, the sock game. If any of you know what the sock game is, if you don't know what the sock game is, you literally need to look it up on John Lewis because it's brilliant. It's like 2 socks, loads of items in the sock, and you basically race to find the item in the sock. It's brilliant. The kids absolutely loved it. And we didn't go out New Year's Eve, and we stayed in, and we just, as I say, we did ball games. Rapido become like, if you can imagine, house full of boys and me. It was literally like crazy. They were all fighting over who got the extra Play-Doh, who was cheating, who wasn't cheating. My team won. Just saying, not competitive at all. But it was such a nice evening. And I said to Mike, I really want going into this year to make sure that we have more nights that are like that, even if it's one night a month. And some of you guys might do this sort of thing already, but we don't necessarily always do this for our kids. You know, one night where we go to the cinema, or we take them Top Golf, or, you know, we stay in and have a games night and a takeaway, and literally it's all computers and phones off, and we do that type of thing. We don't do that enough. So I wrote that on my list of goals. And then I've also got bigger goals. So things like to book my 40th birthday getaway, which we're talking about like the Maldives next year. So because Mike's 40, he's 39 tomorrow, he's 40 this time next year. And then I'm 40 the same year. So I was like, right, we need to book some kind of like massive holiday that is going to be a really expensive holiday that we could never do, you know, before Scentsy. That's the plan. So that's on my list. So these are type of things. So I've got really small things, and then I've got really big things on my list. Okay, like life-changing memories that we're going to make. And then on my business side of things, I wrote down things like building duplicatable systems so that my systems become easier for you guys to all do. Complete a course that I've signed up to, manage my time better. Oh my God, wouldn't that be a great one? Who hasn't that one? To build my own like mini team and to grow that team, to coach more people, to have business hours and make sure I set to them. My dream paycheck, all of those type of things, I literally have written down on my list. Okay, and that's what, if you haven't done it, just tell me who had done that prior to this call. Who's done it? Because if you've done it, you'll be able to do the next part, which it doesn't matter if you haven't. It's not a problem at all. Because I know there's a lot of lives that go in the squad. Yeah, done a few. Fab. So if you've done it, absolutely amazing. Okay, it's going to make it a little bit easier. Now, put that to one side. I just want you to think about for a minute. The first thing that I do at the start of any year is remind myself of my why. And I don't know about you guys, but my why has changed probably 10 times since I started with Scentsy. And some of you, if you're absolutely brand new, you might be like, oh, I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? And there might be some of you that have been doing this a while that are like, I still haven't found my why. And I'm not going to lie, my why changes all the time. Like every time I think I've got my why and I think I know what it is, something changes and it changes. But the most important thing for your why is to have it written down somewhere and to know what it is. Really give it some reflection, because I find that if I don't know why I'm doing something, one, I procrastinate. Two, I then think to myself, well, actually, I've got no reason really to do it. And, you know, for quite a long while, for me, I thought my why was all about the paycheck. And I was like, it's all about the paycheck. And for a long time, up until when I wanted to give up work, it was all about the paycheck. But that probably changed when the dream paycheck started coming. And then I went on to this, I had this call recently, right? So I want you to think about what your why is and then listen to the questions I'm going to ask. So this guy said to me, so what's your why? Like, what's your reasons for doing Scentsy? And I said to him, oh, just, it's about like giving my family financial freedom. And he was like, but why? And I was like, well, so we can just go where we want, when we want to do it. He went, well, where? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And he was like, but what is it that you want to do with that money? Like, and then he asked me, what difference would your life look like if you had all that money in the bank? And I sat there and I actually couldn't tell him. I said, I'm not an arrogant person at all. I said, but I said, I feel a little bit like I'm very happy with my life as it is. Like, someone could give me £1 million tomorrow and I'm not going to go and buy a bigger house, or I'm not going to go and buy a private jet, or yes, I might go to some nice places around the world. And he said to me, I don't think that the money is your why. And then we started talking about actually helping other people. And he said to me, your eyes lit up when we talked about how you enjoy training your team and how you enjoy coaching people and, unlocking other people's potential. And he said, and he basically unlocked this part of me. And I was like, oh yeah, I love doing that. And he said, well, what would your life look like if you couldn't do that? And I said, oh, I'd be really sad. I said, I've been a teacher my whole life. For the last 14 years, I've been a teacher. It's all I know what to do. All I know is to hit, whether it's on a Zoom, whether it's in a classroom, whether it's wherever I go, this is where I feel the most, if you like, fulfilled is probably the word to use. This is where you guys get the best of me. My family probably don't. You guys get like the best Lisa. They get the I'm shattered, tired Lisa that's like moaning about the washing and the ironing. And, when you find something that you're passionate about, that becomes your why. It was like, there's your why. So what I'm asking you tonight is, where you think what your why is, I want you to just take a minute in your head and just think about what your life would look like if all of those dreams come true. So say your why was to give up work, for example. What would your life look like if you could give up work? If your why was to, I don't know, pay for childcare for your children, what would it look like if you had enough money coming in from your sense of business every single month to pay for that childcare? If it was to pay for, I don't know, I'm just trying to think, and feel free to give me some inspiration in the chat. If it was to, I don't know, it's not about the money, and it was actually to earn an incentive trip, what would it look like to be able to go on that Norwegian boat? What would it look like to be able to, say the next trip is to go Disney, for example? What would it be like to be there and be able to take your family there? What would your life look like if that outcome come true for you? How would you feel? And then tell me, or at least think about, you don't have to tell me, but just think about, is that helping you find a why? Are you thinking, actually, yeah, I know what my why is? Feel free to put that in the box if you know what your why is. Or now are you thinking, maybe it's not big enough? Maybe I'm not dreaming big enough. Because I literally want you to be able to, I want you to think about how it's going to make you feel. How it's going to, what impact is it going to have on your everyday life? What is it going to do for you? Is it going to, are you doing this just as a hobby? If you're doing this as a hobby, it's just essentially just fulfill that free wax and filling up that Calax drawer with as much free wax as you can possibly fit in there. So think about that first of all. Change from a distraction to help with my mental health. Yeah, honestly, not eating, wanting. I've just given up my main job so I can spend more time with my kids. Love that. I want to move to a bigger house so at least 3 of my children have their own bedroom. Yeah, love that, Claire. Honestly, there's so many reasons. Sense of achievement really boosts my self-esteem. I love being my own boss. Me too. I've always wanted to be my own boss. I want to move to a bigger home so there's room for all of us, to give my kids a good childhood, to be able to support my boys. So what I want you to do is just think a little bit deeper into those things. You don't have to do it now, but maybe after the call, think about what I want you to do is, say, for example, you want to move to a bigger home and there to be room for more of you. Ask yourself why, and then ask yourself why, and ask yourself why, and ask yourself why until you can't answer the why anymore. And write it down. It should be 5 or 6 levels deep. easily. Think about how it's going to make you feel. Think about the impact it's going to have on your day-to-day life. You know, as soon as, when I always wanted to do that extension, I don't think I realized the impact it was going to have on my life because I didn't dream big enough. But actually, it's made my whole house tidier with this, would you believe? Because we've got more living space. So therefore, you know, we've moved the toys and we've got now this nice, I didn't take my Christmas tree down on Boxing Day for the first time this year. Now, and that's because we had more space. So, you know, it's working out what's your why, and then what are the levels behind it. Work out the reasons why. Be real brutally honest with yourself. Sometimes a why can bring you to that point of literally tears, okay, making you feel like, you know, so happy, like when you think about it and think what the impact it's going to be. But I also want to put a negative. I want you to think about what would happen if this time next year we're sitting here on this Zoom this time next year, and those things that you've dreamt for this year maybe haven't come true, or you haven't even maybe taken a step closer to them. How would you feel? This was the bit that got me. I've never been asked to do this ever. Okay, I've never been asked to think about the negative. I've only ever been asked to think about how's it going to make you feel when you achieve your dreams? How's it going to make you feel if in a year's time you're exactly where you are now and you've not moved forward? And when I was asked that, wow, I wanted to cry. Yeah, Zoe, gutted. I never set goals for fear of not reaching them and then feeling worse. Zoe, I can see you. That's going to change this year. Yeah, Laura, I'll be gutted too, but I definitely won't give up. 100%, I'm the same. But why am I asking you to think about this? Because when he asked me to do it, when I did this call, I actually was like, oh, hold on a minute. I'm not going to let that happen. That was the mindset that it gave me. It was like, right, so now I need to go away and I need to make a plan. And I need to make a plan because now I know what my why is. Now I know how deep it is. Now I know how it makes me feel. I'll be like, right, I now need to do everything in my power to make it happen. And that's what tonight's all about. It's not just about the effort that you're going to make. Tonight is actually about making an actual plan, and we're going to break it down into smaller parts. And hopefully you're going to then start just working on those smaller parts bit by bit. Okay, bit by bit. I've gone backwards. Do you know what, Claire? So many of us have. I've had 3 people message me to quit today. 3 frontline all messaged me, and not horribly. All of them was like, I've loved it, Lise, but it's just not for me right now. So I'm getting it. I get it. But it doesn't matter. How I look at it is like, that's not a problem. Let's make you a really good customer. You can come back and join my business whenever you like, or your business. Okay. So reflection. Tell me in the chat one thing that did not go to plan in 2021 for you within your Scentsy business, not within your life, just within your Scentsy business. Just one. Just pick one thing. What didn't go to plan for you within your Scentsy life? Laura, getting a teamie, building a customer base, recruitment, more team members, struggling to build a customer base, didn't promote to superstar. I didn't push enough. Hit star, recruitment. So lots of you actually coming from a similar sort of thing. Lots of you struggled to get teamies. Lots of you maybe didn't promote. My team stopped selling. Teamies never got off the ground due to personal issues. I didn't get all the sample packs out. Didn't learn social media. Honestly, personal life. Honestly, it's all things. It's never stuff that I've not heard before. Okay, now tell me one thing in the chat that actually makes you smile to think about something that you achieved. Something that you achieved, whether it was recruiting your best friend that was a non-believer, you know, new friends, love that. Whether it's becoming a little bit more confident in yourself, Scentsy to be enough for your work, hitting lead, customer relationships, hitting superstar consultant, the love of Scentsy, contacting old friends, friendships promoted 2 months in a row, lead consultant, getting teamies. Honestly, amazing. All of those things make me smile. And they're the things that I want you to remember going forward into this year when you're thinking, I can't do it. You can. I want you to remember all of those things. Okay. Okay. So when you've made your list, a non-believer you finally got. Do you know what? Non-believers are literally my favorite people. When you can transform a non-believer into a believer, that is literally like favorite stuff for me. Really is. Okay, so when you've got your list of priorities, so you've got your why now, okay? You've got your reason as to why you're doing this. We're now understanding the why a little bit more. And I've asked you to make a list for your personal business and for your growth. Now, that list could be, someone actually messaged me and said, Lise, my list is like 100 things long. And I was like, it's fine, doesn't matter. Put them all on it. If your list gets to 200 things, amazing. It means you've got different things to work on throughout the year. Now, the next step is, and this is something that you're going to have to do when you away from tonight, but what I want you to do is to prioritize your list into the 10 most important things on both of those lists that you think will help, one, to hit those goals, and two, to you know, what are the most important things to you on that list? When you're looking at that list, for example, for me, one of the most important things on the personal side of things is a monthly date night with my husband. Idea from Georgie Snedden. I thought it was a brilliant one. She said to me, oh, we have like a monthly date night. I was like, why do we not do that? Like, we'll go sometimes maybe 2 or 3 months and we haven't been out, just the two of us, and then we're like this at each other. I don't know about you lot if you do this, but we're literally, then we're bickering at each other, and then we go out and we have a night off without the kids, and we're like, oh, we love each other again. And sometimes I think we need that. So, and I said this to him on New Year's Eve, said, right, we're going to have a monthly date night as well. And he was like, yep, I think that's a really good idea. So that's something that is like in my top 10. And you need to whittle your personal and your business side of things down to 10 to 15 things. I'll let you have 15. Okay. But obviously, the more things you've got on that list, the more things you've got to tick off that list this year. Okay. And if you don't know where to start, how you're going to start is look back at the last year and reflect and be like, okay, what things didn't go well? And that's why I'm saying to you, write a list of like 100 things if you need to start with, because honestly, get those things all written down. And then you can actually look at it and be like, right, what are the most important things to me on that list? Within my Scentsy business, one of my top priorities is to be like a bit better at using social media. So for me, Instagram, learning Instagram, Reels, and keeping up with all the changes, that is in my top 10. Why? Because it's changing all the time. I'm now at a point where I've been doing this now for 4 years, which means I've recruited at least one person from nearly every party I've had. I struggled to get people to have parties this Christmas. And when I actually look back, every person that's ever had a party for me, bar probably 2, have joined. So I'm like, it's not bad going. It's not really a bad problem to have, but I now need to find those new people. So for me, it's about meeting new people that I've never met before in my life. So I need to get out into the world a little bit more and see more people for that to happen. When people don't recruit, I tend to think that people aren't recruiting because you're not meeting new people. And I'm sure those of you that all said, actually, I've struggled recruiting, if you probably added up how many new people you have met in the last 6 months, some of you might say to me, I've actually only met maybe 5 new people or 10 new people. Or some of you might be like, I haven't met anybody else apart from referrals from my Scentsy business. And if that's the case, you need to get out more. Okay, that needs to be on your priority list, that you've got to find a hobby, you've got to find something to do to build that customer base. Okay, not easy, but that's one of my things. So when you prioritized, that has now given you your list. Okay, this is your list of 15. Now, what you're then going to do is you're going to find a way of creating a visual. Now, I haven't had time to do this properly, so I bought one of these on Amazon. They actually come as a pack of 2, and it come with like clips. It come with little lights to hang up on it. And what you're going to do for each of those things, so I don't think you can see that, that says on it, date night. Can you see that? So obviously that one's really important to me. So I printed it on my computer, I cut it out, and I stuck it on with a little clip. Now, I've got somewhere down here, this is like called a vision board, basically. And you can do this any way you like. You can stick them all on a piece of paper. You can have an A4 sheet. You can buy a whiteboard if you like and stick it in your fridge and write all over it. But Laura Silkins had a blackboard with her list of goals on it. You need to make yourself a vision board. And you might think this is a really stupid thing to do, right? But I am telling you now, if you make a board that's got your goals on it, my plan is every time I hit one of these goals, I will unpeg it and I will take it off. And every time I hit one of those goals, I'm going to treat myself to something. Not anything massive, but it might be, say, for example, let's say on here, one of my ones is to, hold on. What was one of my other ones within my business? Let's say I hit my dream paycheck, right? Don't know if it's going to happen this year, but it's a pretty big paycheck. Let's say I hit that. I hit that dream paycheck. I take that off and I will replace that with a day out with my kids. Or I might replace that with a Gucci handbag that I've been eyeing up for the last, because handbags literally float my boat. So a Gucci handbag or a Mulberry handbag that literally is floating my boat right now. When I hit that goal, I'm going to treat myself to something that means the world to me. It might not mean nothing to you guys. It might not mean nothing to, you know, my family, but it's going to be something that means the world to me. So whether that's a day at Colchester Zoo, whether that's a hotel stay for the kids up in London, whether that's just a day of, I don't know, taking the kids somewhere, or the Gucci handbag, whatever it is, it doesn't need to cost loads of money. You literally need to have your visions on a board. So best way you can do it, if you haven't got a printer, go to the newsagents, go and buy yourself a load of magazines, get yourself some glue, get yourself some stickers, have a bit of fun, a piece of paper, and you cut out images that literally work. So say, for example, you've got a new bathroom that you want to get done. Okay, put that on your dream board, cut out the dream bathroom, stick it on your dream board. If it's that you want to take your kids on holiday to Spain, you know, cut out the Spanish flag or the destination you want to go, stick it on your dream board. And as you do these things, you can tick them off, because sometimes we need a visual. That visual is going to be your mindset for every single day, to be like, this is why I'm getting up and doing this every single day. If your kids are the only reason that you're doing this, then put the best, biggest picture up and put vision board and say, and stick the words why all the way around it. Whatever it is, if it's your dog that you're doing it for, whatever, everyone's why is so different. If it's a dream house, put the dream house on the board. Yeah, if that 3-bedroom dream house is what you're looking for, put it on the board. But you literally have got to have something to that you'll be like, right, I'm going to aspire to that. That is where I want to go. That is why I'm doing this. That is why I'm getting up. Because when we have Obsidian Gate, when we have teamies that say no, when we have teamies that decide they're quitting, when we have, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of negatives. I don't like to really think about negatives, but when we have LTOs that the technology goes wrong on, you look at that board and you go, right, I'm going to walk away for today. And then I'll come back tomorrow. You look at that board, you remind yourself of why you're doing it, you pick yourself up and you get on with it, and then you carry on. And that is the purpose of a vision board. And that's the purpose of being able to see it every day, because it literally flicks your mindset to be where it needs to be. So you could stick it on your fridge, you could stick it in your biscuit tin. It needs to be somewhere you're going to see it every day. On your bedroom mirror, you know, if you've got an office, put it in your office mirror. If you've got a cupboard that you go to every day, even if your cupboard is where all your samples are, Laura, I hear you. If your Harry Potter cupboard is where all your stuff is, that's where you stick your vision board, because it's somewhere you're going to look at it every single day. You can even, if you're really technology based, do it on your phone, save it as your screen saver. I'm not that tech savvy. I'm a little bit tech savvy, but not that. So make your dream board. But here's my thing. You've got to dream big. Don't dream safe. Because if you just say, oh, my dream is to, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something, a really safe dream. But you think of something safe that's not out of the box. One, it's not going to inspire you to get up and do it every day. This is what you've got to think about. And it doesn't matter whether it's the money or the holidays or the incentives or whatever it is, it's got to be enough that's going to make you want to get out of bed on them days when you feel like not getting out of bed, or them days when you feel like, I don't want to Scentsy today. I don't want to message my customers today. I don't want to post on my customer group today. We all have those days. Trust me, I've had the last 7 days has been, I think I've barely put 2 posts on my customer group. And this is very unlike me. I have been in complete relaxation mode. Probably why I've put on about half a stone over Christmas. But I've been in complete relaxation mode. And to get out of that, I needed to write this list. And when it comes to your business side of things, this is where the list is going to be important. So tell me, what's in the box below? What's your main business goal? Whether it's to promote or just have more teamies, what's your main goal for 2022? What is your main business goal? It might be that you want to hit director this year. It might be that you want to go on an incentive. It might be that you actually just want to consistently sell 1,000 PRV. It might be that you consistently want 2 teamies. It might be that you want to be an SSD. It can happen. SSD happened pretty quickly for me. I want to hit 2 promotions, promote, manage my time better, recruit consistently. Right, okay. So with your goals that you've written down below, this is the next phase. We're now going to go into the goal a little bit deeper. That's your main goal. You've now got to make a plan of how you're actually going to get there. So for example, if I want to have, my main goal is to recruit more, then I need to decide, I need to make a plan. I need to sit down and write this as a plan, that I need to be advertising the fact that you can join my team using attraction marketing. I need to be doing all of those things, and I need to be advertising it at least 3 times a week. 7 times it takes for someone to see something before they will buy it or before they will hit join. If I tell you about my joining journey to Scentsy, I joined another network marketing company before I joined Scentsy, about a month before, and it was a skincare company. But I had looked at people doing Juice Plus and thought I could do that. I had looked at people doing Herbalife and thought I could do that, but I don't believe in their products, so I wouldn't do it. I had looked at people over and over again that were posting on social media and doing things, and I thought, I can do this. I can do that. But it took me a really long time, probably the best part of the year, until I literally hit the join button on Laura Sorkin's page without ever really even knowing what I was going to. I just went to her, can I join? And she was like, yeah. That happened really quickly, that bit. Laura, I will come to that in a minute about the right or wrong way to post for recruitment. I literally, it needs to be something that you need to be like, right, I need to actually make a plan of how I'm going to get to where I want to get to. If you like, you write down, here's me now, this is director, or here's me now, this is me with a teamie, here's me now, this is me with 2,000 PRV. And then what we've got to do is write all the bit in the middle, what you're going to do to get there. And that's what I want you to do, is to write the list of what you're going to do to get there. So if it's to get to director, for example, and your star, you're not just going to write promote to superstar, then promote to superstar director. You're actually going to tell me, how are you going to promote to superstar? So for example, you know that if you're a star and you need to get to superstar, you need to double your GWV, for example. So that's got to double. So for that to double, ideally, think about it, it's not all on you. You need to double your team for that to work. You want to get to that, look at the difference between, I don't know, superstar and director, for example. Look at what the difference is between that next promotion level. And then you need to think about, so Amanda said, I want to hit star. So for example, Amanda, you're lead at the moment. So you need an extra 1,500 TWV. Now you could be like, okay, within that hitting star, if I put in 2,000 PRV, that's about 1,700 GWV. That leaves a really small amount for my team to do. So it's basically looking at what's the breakdown of things that I need to do to get to that. Okay. And if it's, for example, that you want to promote, and to do that, you've got to get your team building, then here's the big one. You've got to be recruiting first. And then you've got to be teaching your team how to recruit. I hear all the time, this is my biggest bugbear in network marketing, right? My biggest bugbear in network marketing is when, and I've been really fortunate for it never to happen to me, but one of my friends is in Body Shop and she gets this every month. Her upline will message her 2 days before month end and she'll be saying, oh, like, have you got any orders to go in? Because we're literally 500 PR, or not PRV, I don't even know what they call it at Body Shop, 500 whatever off of hitting the next target, or for her to get paid at title. And although it's a team effort, I'm also all about, like I said to her, I said, well, really, she should have planned how she was going to get paid at title. And she should have had those conversations with you at least a week ago, like not 2 days before the end of the month. So these are things that you've got to consider. You should have the plan for the whole month. Where's your PRV coming from? Where's your GWV coming from if you want to promote? Where's your recruits coming from? But more importantly, whatever you're doing, your team are going to do if you've got a team. If you haven't got a team and you're going to build a team, then that's brilliant. It's just all on you to get out there and put it out there and speak to as many people as possible and start the sponsoring conversations. If recruiting is, and you haven't got any team yet, and that's the thing to do, there's no right or wrong way to do it. Just ask people, hey, Laura, do you want to join my team? Hey, Amanda, you'd be amazing at selling Scentsy. Una, oh my God, you talk to everybody. You would be brilliant at selling Scentsy. It literally is as simple as that. In terms of advertising it, it's just literally telling people how much you love it, why you love it, what it's doing for you. All of those different things are going to be what's going to draw people in. But you need to make a plan. So whether it's recruiting, whether it's PRV, you've got to make a plan. Now, if I'm now saying to you, you've got to make a plan, and you're like, I don't know what to do though. Be honest. If you don't know what to do, put it in the chat box. If you literally do not know what to do to get to your goal. And I honestly, it's not a problem if you don't know what to do. Sharon, not so sure. Because this is where coaching comes in. And this is where I would say, go and book a coaching call with your director. Go and ask them. Yeah, no idea, but I'll give it my all. But this is what tonight's all about. It's about making that plan, writing down those goals. Where do you want to be? And then how you're going to get there. Now, I could sit here and goal set for every single one of you individually. I wish I had the time. Honestly, I really wish I had the time to sit here and go, right, Laura, this is what you need to do. Right, Emma, this is what you need to do. Michelle, this is what you need to do. But I haven't got that time tonight to sit here and do that. We will be here till God knows what time. So this is where your directors are going to come in. And some of you, I'm your director. So we can sit down and we can make a plan together. But some of you, Nick's your director, or George is your director, or Karen's your director. And this is where you need to go to them and say, right, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to get to. This is where I am now. This is what I want to get to. Can you help me fill in the gaps in the middle? Can you help me? And it's not, can you help me to recruit? But can you help me to set out a plan of how often I want to be talking about recruiting in my customer group? How, set me targets of how many people I want to be asking to join my team, all of those different things, and have it written down as a list. So for me, if I wanted to recruit more teamies, and that was my main goal for 2020, I would probably have a few things written down. The first would be that I would need to post on my customer group at least twice a week to sponsor new teamies. I would need to post at least once or twice a week as well on my stories, twice a week as well on my business page. Why business page? Because it's public, which means the whole wide world can see it. If you're only asking people to join in your customer group and your customer group's got 400 people in it, they're the only people that are going to see that post. It means that, your next door neighbor, Susie, who might not be in your customer group, she won't see that post. So this is where your personal page has got to come in a little bit more. This is where your stories have got to come in a little bit more. Or this is where your voice has got to come in a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to set myself the challenge to have 5 conversations every single week. And I'm going to find 5 new people to ask to join my team. I'm going to make myself a dream team list. There you go. I've just given you, if recruiting is your that's your plan, there's your goals. There's your 5 things that you need to do. Twice a week, 5 conversations, ask 5 people to join every single week. And that's how you do it. If I was trying to promote, I would look at, so my 5 things would be, right, I'm going to look at where I am now. Where do I need to get to? How much GWV do I need to promote to get to the next step? Right, I need 1 teamie and they need to be active. That's the first thing I'm going to work on. I'm going to go and get myself a teamie. When I've got myself that teamie, I will tick that off the list. Right, the next thing is I'm now going to help that teamie get active and make sure I've got my 500 PRV. You literally need to make a step-by-step list of how you're going to get to that next point. And if you don't know, that's when your director is going to step in. That's what I'd like you to do. And that would be where I would ask you to go. And if your director doesn't know, it doesn't matter. They can come and ask me, and then we can have a joint call. Or if your director's really struggling for time, come to me, message me and say, Lisa, look, I've reached out to my director. I'm not having much luck here. Can we set a coaching call? Yes, of course we can. Although your directors are all phenomenal, so I'm pretty certain they will all have the time for you. Okay, it's really, really important, more than anything though, that you make that list and you know where you're going. Honestly, I think sometimes we can underset ourselves goals, like where we go, oh, okay, I'm not going to set myself that goal, because if I don't achieve it, it's called fear of failure, if you've ever heard of it. Okay, and I think loads of people suffer with it. I've suffered with it for years and years. I was like, oh, if I just don't do that particular move on the beam, or, you know, so scared that I'm going to fail, that actually it's easier to just play small. Play small, you won't go anywhere. Play big. Step outside your comfort zone. I promise you will grow. You will grow. This wasn't something that was easy for me. The teaching side of it is. I could stand in front of kids. I could stand in front of kids easy. In front of adults, I get really nervous, because you've got a thought process where you could judge me a lot more and be like, well, that was crap. Well, that was a load of rubbish. Do you know? And I know that you don't feel like that most of the time. Probably sometimes I've done a live and you probably thought, well, that was pointless. But we all have those moments. But this is so this has been out of my comfort zone. You know, when I got asked to go live in the Inspiration Station and on the global United We Rise page, I have never been so nervous in my whole life. And that live has been shared 10,000 times. 10,000 people have seen that, me chatting. And I'm like, that makes me nervous. That's out of my comfort zone. But if I never did it, I wouldn't improve as a leader for you guys. So I don't want you to have that fear of failure, okay? Even if you don't share your goals with anybody, put them on your vision board, put them on your piece of paper. You're very welcome to send them to me. Like they, you know, I will have so many people that send me their goals. I'm not always going to check in with you every week to make sure you're doing them. But if you do want to share them with someone, share them with at least one person. Even if there's someone that you can make yourself accountable with. If you haven't got an accountability buddy, find one. Me and Laura Sawkins do everything together. Like if you see our reel the other day, well, that was just hilarious because I've clearly got no rhythm. I thought I could dance, but clearly not as you get older. But we had such a giggle doing it. And she was like, no, we're going to keep doing it until we get it right. We're going to keep doing it until we get it right. And she made me accountable. And that worked for me. And sometimes you need to find somebody that's going to keep you accountable, that's got a similar goal to where you want to go, that's got a similar vision to what you want to do. You know, if you haven't got anyone like that, pop a post up in the squad and be like, right, I need an accountability buddy. I'm a star consultant. I'm aiming to get the superstar, and I need someone that literally is gunning for it like me. Put it in the squad. There will be someone that will be like, oh yeah, that I'll come and be your accountability buddy. And literally all that takes is then you message each other every couple of days and be like, how are you getting on with that? Add each other to your customer groups, share ideas with each other. Honestly, Laura, your message has just come to me directly, hun. You might want to just change it at the top with the drop down. It says then to everyone, and then that will go to everybody in the group. Because otherwise it's only me saying that you want an accountability buddy, which is fine. I'm always willing to. I don't know if you can see where it does it. That's it. But don't be afraid to do that. But don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because I tell you now, if this time next year you're still sitting here and you're like, okay, I haven't moved from star, and it's because I was too scared to put myself out there, then no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. What I also, something to think about is obviously just to work on your mindset for 2022. Let me tell you a little story. When I first started in network marketing, Laura Sawkins bought me a book, right? And this must have been for one of my promotions. I promoted, and she bought me this, okay? I have only read the first chapter of it. Okay, secret, don't tell her. So I've only read the first chapter of this book. I need to read it. She's bought me the second one of it as well. So I really need to actually up my game with the readings. And I read about the first chapter, and I remember going to Laura bought me this book. I'm not reading that. It's about personal development. I don't need personal development. And I remember saying that to him, and he must have thought, and he just was like, oh, okay. I don't think he had any idea what it is, and he still probably doesn't have a clue now. But when the time is right, you will know when the time is right to do personal development. I'm not talking about business development. I'm not talking about watching trainings on Sensi or like trainings that I do. This is like actual training on you as a person. And I was like, I don't need anything like that, because I don't suffer with any problems being confident. I don't suffer with any, like, what I would call, like, I used to be like, I don't suffer with any mental health problems, so I don't need a book like this. That was my thought process, right? Narrow-minded or what? When I found the right book, I went to Mexico. You might have heard this story before, and if you have, I'm really sorry if I'm boring you with it again. I bought not this book. Where's it gone? Who have I lent that to? Oh, I've lent it to someone. I bought this, and I bought this. This was a bit of a game changer for me. The life-changing magic of not giving a fuck. If you don't mind a bit of swearing, sorry if there's small children about. If you don't mind a bit of swearing, this will make you smile. Honestly, it was basically to try and teach you to say no and to learn about boundaries. I still didn't read all of it. And then it wasn't this one, but I bought Rachel Hollis's Girl Wash Your Face. I sat on a sunbed in Mexico that I'd earned through Sensi, and I read this book, and I literally turned around and said to Laura, I'm going to get a tattoo. She went to me, what? And I was like, I'm going to get a tattoo when I get home. And I went, I'm going to also cut down on drinking Diet Coke. That was a joke. But I was like, I'm going to get a tattoo. She was like, why? And I was like, right, let me read you this chapter. And I haven't got the book, so I can't read it to you. But basically, there was a chapter in the book about you only live once. And hold on 2 seconds, let me let the dog in. There was a chapter in the book about you only live once. In, come in. Go and lay down. You'll be crying in a minute to go out. And all this jazz. Anyway, I text my sister-in-law. I was with my sister-in-law as well. And I went, I'm going to get a tattoo. And she went to me, no, you're not. She's like, you've always been so against tattoos. She then texted my other two sister-in-laws. There's four of us. And she was like, Lisa said she's going to get a tattoo. Let's book it now. Why she said she's going to do it. So they booked it in. And when I got back from Mexico, I went with them and we all got a matching tattoo. I can't remember if it's this side or this side. We've all got like a little heart tattooed on our ribs. And that came from reading a bloody self-development book, right? Now, it didn't necessarily change anything in terms of my business, but it opened my eyes up to different parts about me that I didn't actually realize were even there. That I'm reading Noor Hibbert's, I'm still reading it at the moment, her YOLO book, and there was a whole chapter on how you can change your personality and change yourself to sometimes suit other people. And I actually realized how much I used to do it for my dad, and how he used to go to the pub, and I used to not really like drinking, but I went to the pub and I had a sambuca and I had a Blue Wicked with him because I wanted to spend time with my dad. And when I read that chapter in the book, I actually cried. I really cried because one, obviously it brought back a lot of memories of my dad. But two, I was like, oh my God, like I've never really thought of myself as somebody that I thought changed who I am to be around, like for other people to accept me. So don't poo-poo self-development. If you haven't got time for reading, there's audio. You can listen to, there are so many books that are free on YouTube, by the way, as well. Like the whole of, I can't remember what book it was. I listened to quite a lot. You know, find something to work on you. If confidence is something you struggle with and stepping out of your comfort zone is something you struggle with, then go and find books, or, you know, ask me or Laura or someone that has read something that has been a confidence booster, that has been good for them, or listen to a confidence booster, because this is the year to get into it. You will know when it's the right time for you. There might be some of you like, I haven't got time for that, Lise. I haven't got time to sit and read a book. I have got in the squad, Tara, I think I've saved an album which has got like Lisa's book list in it, and I've just screenshotted some of the books that I've got. But yeah, I can definitely put a guide up. The first book, what, the one that Laura bought me, or the first book that actually, Amy, the one that actually impacted my life? The life-changing magic of not giving a fuck. not many books. If you search the word fuck, that you're going to find. And the other one was called Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. If you don't follow her as well, follow her on YouTube and social media. She's bloody brilliant. Yeah, Audible's brilliant. She can stick it on your AirPods and you can literally clean your whole house top to bottom and listen to a book. If you've never done that before, treat yourself to a pair of AirPods. Worth every penny, honestly. So yeah, get involved. And this one was You Are a Badass. How to stop doubting your greatness and start living your most awesome life. That is pretty good. I need to read that one. But honestly, self-development, whether it's, as I say, confidence, whether it's, you know, and if, for example, you feel like, actually, I don't want to start with that, start with the network marketing stuff. There's some brilliant network marketing books out there, like all of the Mary Christensen books are brilliant. What else? Oh, Girl on Fire. Absolutely love that book. It's by Cara Atwell. I bought Simon Sinek's Leaders Eat Last. I'm not going to lie, I couldn't get into that. It was really didn't go down well with me, that one. I've actually shelved that one for now. So definitely something to do. But your biggest homework for this to come out of this is to go and make yourself a vision board. So get yourself some kind of board. It doesn't have to be a glittery one. It doesn't have to be an expensive one. Whether it's just cardboard, you know, use a Scentsy box, cut your Scentsy box up and be like, right, that's the back of it. Now stick a load of shizzle to it. Make it, add some glitter if you fancy it. Get the tinsel out the loft and put tinsel on it if Christmas is your favourite time of the year. Whatever you like, your vision board is for you. I'm certain, hold on, let me just check in here. I had it in here. I don't know if I chucked it. In your brand workbook. No, can't find it. I had it somewhere and I found it a little while ago and I was like, oh, I'm going to keep that and I'm going to show everybody. God knows. It's in my office somewhere. I will find it, I'm sure. Please share the link to the Wireable. Yeah, cool, Charlotte. I think I searched Amazon and I put in something like wire. I actually think I searched vision board in Amazon, but it might have been like wire, rose gold, wire board or something like that. I think I put in clipboard or something. Pinboards work really well as well because you can just pin to the cork. That works really, really well. But you need to make a bit of a vision, okay? So reflect on 2021. Make a list of your priorities if you haven't done them already. Like where are we going? Where's, you know, what's your personal life look like? What's your business look like? Write that list of 100 things. And then write down your why. Make sure you've got your why written down and then ask yourself, why? Think about how it would look if you don't achieve that why. Think about how it would look if you do. And then ask yourself why. Why are you doing this? Really know why. And your why might completely change after tonight. You might be like, oh, I'm going to do something completely different. Oh, thanks, Emma. Make a list. Pick your 15 things. Prioritize them. Get them on the vision board. Okay. Make the vision board. Have some fun. Get your kids involved if you've got kids. And, you know, if not, get your glue sticks out. Find your Blue Peter side of you in there. You're all a bit creative. I know you are. And make it. And then the next step is to then take your business things, those priorities, and be like, right, what's my main goal? How am I going to get there? What are the little tasks I'm going to do to get there? Whether it's, as I say, doubling your team, whether it's leading from the front a little bit more, you know, showing everybody, you know, for those of you that are saying, my team have stopped working, my team are not doing anything, but are they seeing what you're doing? Are they seeing everything you're doing? I literally, and I don't know if Sarah's on here, Sarah Kaywood asked me the other day, she rang me and she said to me, Lise, I need to sit down with you and we need to talk about your systems. I need some of your systems. And I laughed and I went, you're going to laugh at me, Sarah, but I haven't got any that I haven't shown you. I said, everything I do, I hit the live button and I show you. Everything I do, literally, you know everything. I don't hide anything. If I get a sale for £100, I'll show you how I got it. You know, you're welcome to be in my customer group. I happily have people in there watching how and what I'm doing and all the rest of it. You know, all of those things, I need to work on systems myself. So hopefully that is something that you will see more of this year. That is like a big thing for me, is having systems that you can all duplicate that become really easy, and your directors can all duplicate as well. And if you hit director, it then makes your job as a director very, very easy as well. when you hit director, not if. Okay, when. And then you just got to work out how to close that gap. And that's the next thing, is make that list. Set yourself a list of things that you're going to do, monthly jobs, if you like, or weekly. For me, I would do it weekly. I would be like, right, I need to make sure that I hit a certain amount of PRV. If my goal is 1,000 PRV for the month, break it down into 4 weeks or 5 weeks, and then set your PRV goals. Right, what am I going to do to get that 200 PRV? Where is it coming from? Have I got Sensi Club coming out this month? Right, yes, that's 100 PRV, brilliantly. So now I've got to work on where's my other 100 PRV coming from. Break it down into small chunks. I'm not going to tell you to do SMART goals. And if you don't know what SMART goals are, they're specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time phased. I'm not going to tell you to do it that way. If that works for you, feel free. But for me, I've always gone deeper and made things a lot smaller and manageable. And then I want you to make lists and literally have lists everywhere of, right, I'm going to do those things and this is what it's going to achieve. Those lists are going to get me 200 PRV. That list, that's going to get me a recruit. But it's about the consistency and doing those things every single week. If you completely don't know where to start, message me and we'll do it together. We'll do it together. We'll do it over a coaching call. But obviously message your director first and ask them if they can go through it with you first. If not, next step is come to me and we can have 10 minutes. And I promise you, we could map out a whole year in 10 minutes. So, I don't know how long I've been on here. Have I been on here an hour? Oh my God, I talk so far too much. Has anyone got any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself if you have got a question. No? I hope this has been useful. I'll tell you what I have got as well. Hold on email. Oh, that's where it was. Laura sent it to me on email. Do you want to watch this video quickly? It's 3 minutes. I have got a social media content planner to post for you all. Oh, here we go. People don't buy into what you do. She sent it to me on email. Right, let's just make this smaller. Let's get rid of all of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get my emails up. Laura, where are we? Here we are. Right. Oh, let me just share my screen with you. Please tell me you can see this. Can you see this?
3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operated it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean, what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done. That's how most sales is done. And that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do. We say how we're different or how we're better. And we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one.
I love that. Right, stop the share. How much did that make you guys think about? When I was watching that, I was like, oh my God, this is actually making me think about how I write my posts when I'm selling Scentsy. Oh my God, talk about, oh, hold on. Hold on. He's, that was Simon Sinek. He is, follow him on YouTube. His books are brilliant. Apart from that one, don't buy that leader one because it's been shelved. But his book, the one I listened to on audio, funnily enough, was his one, and it was the one I listened. Some of you guys might have heard me talking about it with Tam. Oh, I don't know where that's gone either. See, I lend things out. This is my problem. It was like a red and white one. I can't think what it is. It's all about being consistent. I can't remember what it's called. Just something to think about, and it works with you guys. When you know your why, you work harder because you're sort of like, it's the thing that's driving you, and that's basically where he was going with that. And it's the same as with the way we post. So think about that. Tell a bit of a story with it. Brilliant. I think that's really good video. Something for all of you. You guys are getting the first inside knowledge on this because you're on this call. As in the next week or so, the sign up will be going out for 2 programs that are going to be running alongside one another. The first one is called Simple Steps to Success. Some of you would have done it last year. It is for any essential consultants, certified consultants, and any consultants that really you don't feel like their business is literally booming. Whatever your title, anybody can do it. We have tweaked it slightly, and we've also got an extra 4-hour or a 4-session of social media training that's going to be tapped on the end of it. So if you did it last year, and you might want to tap in at least to the social media bit at the end, because it's going to be literally how to use Instagram, how to make reels, how to use TikTok. And hopefully by the time we come to do that, me and Laura are going to be so clued up on it. You guys will be flying. But the second program that's going to be running as well is called Rising Stars. I ran this 2 years ago. I am actually buzzing to run this. And it is going to be for lead consultants that have got a working team and above. So basically, if you've got a team of 3 consultants or more and they're working, or 2 consultants or more and they're working, then by working, I mean putting PRV in, then you will also be able to do that program. Now, it's similar to what we did with Level Up, but it's got a different sort of structure. It's 9 weeks for this particular program. The idea is it is literally going to gear you for everything that you need to become a director. So the sign-ups will go out for those soon. They will be starting at the beginning of February. So that's going to give you best part of sort of 3 weeks to hit the ground running with your own business. The beginning of February, it will work nicely because it will be when we're going into a new catalogue. So it will be relevant when we're talking, especially with simple steps to success. It will be relevant to sort of how to like launch a brand new catalogue and whatnot. Helen, the second one is called Rising Stars. So for lead and above. I've only got one team member working and I hope she won't go quiet. Yeah, Claire, don't panic. Obviously, I will have it open to all lead consultants. If someone says to me, Lisa, look, I really want to do this, like, you know, and my team are sort of slowly, quietly working, then go for it. If you want to challenge yourself to do it, that's absolutely fine. But you will decide what the right program for you is at the time. So, and I will just add, I think the last time I ran Rising Stars, something like 10 people completed the course, and I'm sure 7 of them that year hit director. That's not saying that the course is the only, you know, the course will be the be all and end all for hitting director, but it goes into things that we've not really talked about before, like branding yourself, branding your team, how to help run your team, how to grow your team further and whatnot, all of that jazz. Yeah, so that's where we are, that's where we're at. So exciting things. I really hope this has been useful. I hope that I feel like I could talk about goal setting, but I've talked about some of the more practical tips of things for you to actually go and do. You know, there's some homework there for you. Go and make yourself a vision board. Share it in the squad if you're brave enough. If you're not, share it with me. Find an accountability buddy. You know, do the things that I've sort of given you as challenges, and I promise they will work. And the more you can turn up for the live trainings, I am going to try and spread them out so there's not too many all coming at once. But the live trainings tend to be where you're going to get the most from them. And, you know, I know we say like what everyone says, oh, I catch them on the replay, I catch them on the replay. But I can tell you now that if you can catch them live, they will have the most impact on your business, because you go to bed buzzing and then you can't sleep. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm ready to start, hopefully. If anybody as well is like, I'm desperate to do some training, or to go live in the squad and share things, please message me. I'm always open to that as well. I'm always open to seeing things that you're doing. If you see someone doing something amazing, let me know. But anyway, have an amazing start to 2022. I'm excited for you all. Let's do this. Let's do this. Right, I'm going to go. Hold on, let me take a really quick picture of you all, because I can still use my Insta stories, even though I can't use anything else on Instagram. So if you don't see me post for the next 6 days, it's because I'm in jail, not because I've given up on Instagram. But anyway, I'll speak to you all soon. Have a fab evening and take care. I'm going to bed. Bye, guys. She says, and I can't remember how to turn it off.